Good evening, everyone. We will wait for a few minutes for everyone, for more students to join us. Before that, I would just like to launch a small poll, which I would request you all to submit. All right. Thank you so much for submitting the poll. So again, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. On behalf of my colleagues, Ms. Addy and Mr. Ben from North America, and Ms. Palak and Ms. Chandra from India, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you as we talk more about engineering technology programs with our esteemed speakers from Northern Kentucky University. So I would like to start this session with a very brief introduction of who we are as Gen Next Education Organization. And then we will go into the main session of the evening with our speakers. And then we hope to leave good amount of time for the question and answer session towards the end. So if you have any questions that you want our speakers to address to you, please leave them in the Q&A box that you see at the bottom of your screen, and we will address them at the end of the session. So we are an international education organization based in India and North America. As an educator, we do believe that all our students deserve a platform to explore international education opportunities, and hence we provide free, comprehensive, and unbiased counseling services to our students and their families, and also support high schools in their endeavors. We aim to provide and to help students in finding the right fit opportunities and the right fit universities for them. Our Exploring Undergraduate Education series is one of the initiatives to help our students in finding the right program for them. As we work with the students, we truly understand how important it is for them to find out and to figure out the right program for them and also the career opportunities. So we initiated the series with our partners where we talk about different disciplines and the program components, scholarships and career opportunities, and specifically the important information which is not available on the university website. And we're able to do this with the help of our partners and the insiders from the universities. So I'm very pleased to share that today we are featuring one of our partners, Northern Kentucky University, which is based in Kentucky, and it's public university. I am very pleased to introduce Ms. Rebecca Hansen, who is an Assistant Director for International Admissions at NKU, and Dr. Seyed, who is a Program Director for Engineering Technology Programs at NKU. So before I turn over the session to them and we discuss more about the engineering technology programs at NKU, this is a friendly reminder for all of you to keep your microphones muted and take the most out of the session and drop all the questions that you have in the Q&A box, so we will address them at the end. Thank you. Over to you, Rebecca.
Thank you so much. Next slide, please. All right, Dr. Seyed, Allameh, and I'm Rebecca Hansen. We are very pleased to be speaking with you today. I'm going to start off just by talking to you a little bit about Northern Kentucky University, and then you will learn a lot about our engineering technology programs. So next slide, please. One of the questions I get a lot when I am traveling or talking with international students is, where is Kentucky? Now, I know that a lot of international students are familiar with certain parts of the United States. I'm sure you know where California is. Maybe a few of you know Texas or Florida. I get a lot of students asking me, how close are you to New York? How close are you to Washington, D.C.? Well, the US has a huge chunk in the middle that tends to be ignored a little bit, and we are somewhere in that middle part. So the state that is in yellow right now, that is the state of Kentucky. It is a very diverse state with a lot of very fascinating parts to it, and we happen to be on the very northern part of the state, right on the border of Ohio and Kentucky. So we are only about 10 minutes away from the city of Cincinnati. So we enjoy that we are a nice suburban city, and a place where our university is very much a university town, but because we're only a few minutes away from Cincinnati, we get to enjoy all of those benefits. So next slide, please. There are a lot of great things about being really close to Cincinnati. Our city is a number one up and coming city for recent college grads. So that means that there are a lot of great opportunities for students who are wanting to have internships during their studies, who are wanting to have jobs and take advantage of the different programs through your F1 visa that allow you to work after graduation. Our university itself is medium-sized, so around 14,000 students, which sounds like a lot, but we're still able to have about 24 students in an average class, and it's about an 18 or 19 to 1 student to teacher ratio. And later on, we will talk a little bit about the kinds of opportunities that you get through research, through the engineering technology programs. But essentially, we are large enough that we have a lot of students. There will be a lot of people for you to meet, but we are still small enough that we manage to have very personalized attention, especially within your area of study. Some other reasons that students tend to choose us are that we are safe and we are affordable. We have consistently been voted greatest lifetime return on investment among Kentucky colleges. Oh, can you go back to the previous slide, please? Thank you. We are also consistently in the top 10 safest college campuses in the United States, and that safety is something that our, oh, can we go back to that slide with the city? Thank you. And we are consistently in the top 10 safest colleges. So our teachers, or our parents tend to really, really enjoy the fact that we are in a nice, safe environment. And of course, later on, I'm going to talk about our merit-based scholarships. One thing is that international students, once they are admitted, they are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to be in this great location, right next to a suburban town, right in your backyard. So there are a lot of great opportunities for you to, if you are to join Northern Kentucky University. The next slide, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the opportunities for engaging on campus. Now, I know that right now with COVID-19, there is not a whole lot that we can do on campus, but we are still having a lot of virtual meetings with our students. We do have our International Student Union, which is one of the largest and most active student clubs on campus among our over 250. That is, the International Student Union is an opportunity for domestic or American students to join with international students to learn about their culture, to hang out, to get to meet students from all around the world, and also for you to gain camaraderie and to have your own group of people, your tribe, while you're here, so that you have opportunities to be around people who know the kind of struggles that you're dealing with, but also the kinds of joys that you're dealing with in studying at a university so far away from home. We also have Greek life, if you've ever considered joining a sorority or fraternity. Actually, one of our Indian students joined a fraternity this year, and he is very much enjoying himself. They really focus on philanthropy and actually have required hours to be in the library, so they are actually required to study. His parents were quite pleased with that requirement. There are also, of course, a lot of clubs and organizations specific to majors or minors, areas of study. So if you wanted to join the cyber defense team, the philosophy club, the chemistry club, there are a lot of opportunities for you to have fun academically on the side as well. And then finally, we do have NCAA Division I sports. So whether you are a player and you want to join those athletic teams, or if you are more like me and you are a spectator, there are a lot of opportunities for you to cheer on your fellow classmates. Next slide, please. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about before turning the time over was just that we do have a variety of noteworthy programs, whether it's our AACSB accredited College of Business with plenty of opportunities for students, or our College of Informatics, where we have programs in public relations, in cybersecurity, we have journalism, communication, data sciences, many opportunities. And then of course, also in our College of Arts and Sciences, where we have a huge focus on undergraduate research as well as the School of the Arts. So we do have a variety of programs if you choose to accompany your degree in mechatronics or mechanical manufacturing, engineering technology. If you wanted to accompany those with any of these programs or just explore while you're at NKU, there are plenty of opportunities for you. So I'm going to turn the time over now. Dr. Allameh, if you wanted to talk about the mechatronics programs or the engineering technology programs at NKU.
Thank you, Rebecca. Again, my name is Seyed Allameh. I'm coming to Northern Kentucky University after 5 years of working as research staff scientist at Princeton University, working on microelectromechanical systems, nanotechnology, and advanced materials. So I have been here for 14 years, and I have closely worked with our students, undergraduate students, as well as some high school students from area schools on different areas of biofuels, biomimicking, and microelectromechanical systems. So here at NKU, we have engineering technology programs, and these are actually located in the Department of Physics, Geology, and Engineering Technology. And our chair is Dr. Esmante Fernando. So we have a number of majors in our discipline. So these are electrical and electronics engineering technology, call it EET, mechanical and manufacturing engineering technology, MMET, and then mechatronics engineering technology, MET. So the latter is the latest one. There are a number of minors and certificates available. So minors include advanced technology, electronics technology, and industrial technology. You might ask, why engineering technology? So here are some of the reasons why you should select engineering technology. For most of our students, it's the math requirements in engineering. You're dealing with algebra, so you're not deriving equations. You actually utilize and apply them to solve problems. The salaries are good, but again, probably the best part is near 100% job placement. Even some of our students who lag behind and graduate, they get jobs. And many times we have fight over our undergraduate, our graduates. It's interesting, there's a big competition in our area for engineering graduates, especially engineering technology ones. And the companies around us, they actually sponsor our co-op students. We send our students for co-op by the second year. Some of them actually get into jobs in the first year, and some even before joining our program, just by saying that I intend to attend engineering technology of NKU, they get into industrial jobs. We have a number of scholarships. These include Dean Scholarship, Grieve Scholarship, Millicron, Mazak, Presidential Scholarship, and some more. Certificates, automated manufacturing processes and systems, manufacturing processes, computer-aided draft and design certificate, and technology leadership and innovation. So to continue with some reasons to select engineering technology, the strengths include accreditation. And this means every course has to be assessed, usually in a 2-year cycle. And you have to have outcome for the course, and the outcomes have to be assessed if they were attained or not. And then points of improvement have to be determined, and there should be an improvement cycle, continuous improvement plan in place. So the programs are evaluated internally every year, but every 6 years we have ABET visitation, and sometimes you have to prepare a midterm self-study, which is in 3 years. The other strength is domestic and adult learner. Domestic, traditional, and adult learners sit next to each other. So many of our adult learners come from industry, so they bring a lot of experience with them. And many of them are in key position like hiring manager position. We have had managers hiring students right in our class, sitting next to each other, the employer and employee. The other thing is the international students. We used to have nearly 50% international students. Now with the change of leadership in Saudi Arabia, number of our international students from Saudi Arabia has gone somewhat down. Scholarship has become a little bit more difficult over there. So we have nearly about 25 to 30% of international students from Saudi Arabia, from Nigeria, from Mozambique, from Belgium, Spain, Venezuela, and some other countries. So they bring their culture and they actually, their tradition. It's a wonderful mix. I guess by knowing them, chances of going to some of these countries and work there increase. These are the faculty of engineering technology. Besides me, Dr. Sadat is there. He is working in engineering education. Dr. San, he is working in electronics, IC. Dr. Zilma Ishwari, she is in electronics, power electronics, wind turbines, renewable energy. Dr. Yazdanpur in augmented reality, electronics, mechatronics. Dr. Minchul Shin is in MEMS area, microelectromechanical systems. Dr. Azad is in dynamics. Dr. Professor Hobby, he's a lecturer in our program. So if you ask, what is mechanical and manufacturing engineering technology? It's basically two majors in one. It means you actually have to take more core courses. That's obvious. When ABET, our accreditation agency, comes, and when we say manufacturing and mechanical, we are responsible to impart both sets of skills in manufacturing and in mechanical. So we have more courses related to major as opposed to a single major degree. Now the focus here is basically on design, on development, testing, and maintenance of components, processes, and systems. So graduates will gain knowledge and hands-on skill. And I should say, these days, knowledge is basically utilized or applied. So we are not really emphasizing gaining or attaining fundamentals of knowledge, rather application of knowledge in the design, installation, manufacturing, testing, evaluation, sales, or maintenance of mechanical and manufacturing systems. So you see here a bunch of our students working together. This is a Baja. This is an off-road vehicle that we built from scratch. Actually, students buy the tubes, the engine, the tires, and then they come to school, to the lab, and they start building it from scratch. So in 1 year, they actually have to design it, build it, test it, and then they take this for competition in about April or May. So it's a fun project. We have students not only from engineering technology, but from other majors coming, working together. And they have couches there. They work late night and they finish the job. We have robotics here. We have a few female students in our programs. Nevertheless, we are recruiting female students. The industry wants them, and they actually want them not only for design and development of systems, but also for management of processes and sales and actually management of companies. So the management ladder is really ready for female students in engineering and engineering technology. So what type of careers do you get in mechanical and manufacturing, engineering technology? And this is actually shared also between different areas of engineering that we provide, like mechatronics as well. So you can help prove a concept, and now you're a research engineer. Design a new product, and you're a design engineer. If you can build a prototype, you work as development engineer. If you manufacture products, you are a manufacturing engineer. If you install systems, you're an installation engineer. And if you answer technical questions, you are a sales engineer. And if you solve customer problems, you are application engineer. And if you verify parts or products, you are a qualifying or quality engineer. I show you examples of research in MMET undergraduate program. And of course, all of our professors that are involved in some kind of research or creative activity. So I can show the work of some of my students. So we work in digital homes that builds homes layer by layer. And we combine areas of biomimicking, 3D printing, materials, and construction to actually be able to build houses that are affordable and they are resistant to earthquake and fire, and they can be made fast, and they can be made on the spot just about anywhere under hazardous condition or in areas that are not safe for humans. We have built house printers, 3 versions of it now over the last 10 years, and I have had tens of students working in this area. Another area is microtesting of small structures. So these are MEMS scale components, and we look at, let's say, mechanical properties, including fatigue properties. This is quite important for 3D welded rebars in concrete. These are some of the samples that we made with our 3D printer. You can see plaster here, polymer here, concrete here, and this is clay. You can actually deposit these in different shapes and geometries. This is made from plaster. You can also make these from metals by 3D welding. And of course, if you build things like, I like biomimicking and researching biomimetics, you have to actually test the samples and see what the strength is. Examples of publications with our undergraduates, and this is important for students who want to graduate and go to graduate programs. We have undergraduate students in many of my research. You can see Abdullah Al-Muzaini, he was from Saudi Arabia. Miguel Ortiz, he was from Spain. Harbin and Leninger, US. We have had Jennifer Wardlow, again from US. So I have a lot of presentations made by our students. This is actually a picture of the 3D printer that we have made. And this is again the Baja vehicle that we have made. So to summarize research in engineering, MMET, biosmart structures, biomimicked composites, MEMS and biomems, engineering technology education, 3D printing of houses, mechanical properties of small structure. ABET is very important accreditation, and actually it generates standards and verifies that standards are actually met by different programs. These are some of the degree requirements. You can see core courses here, MMET, CAD, engineering materials. Then support courses, examples are physics, chemistry. So there are some electives. And you have two tracks, design track and quality track. And of course, general education courses are common between different majors. Now, electronics and electrical engineering technology. So the focus is on digital, analog, microcontroller, software, and electrical systems. And the competencies that students get is basically the design, application, installation, manufacturing, operation, and maintenance of electrical and electronic systems. And the same way, there are a number of courses that you can take, core courses, support courses, electives, and we have two tracks, system and design and fundamentals of engineering. Research going on in triple ET, renewable energy systems, microgrids, smart grids, distributed energy resources, artificial intelligence, virtual and augmented reality, electronics system design, biological and environmental systems monitoring, and big data analytics. Now, this is a new program we have, Mechatronics Engineering Technology. So this one focuses on the design, development of mechanical, electrical, and computer-controlled system. So the competencies that you get would be design, installation, manufacturing, and testing of electromechanical, mechatronics, and robotic systems. Research going on there, intelligent mechanical systems, medical robotics, gesture controlled robots, brain controlled robots, computer vision, indoor 3D modeling, machine vision, industrial automation, micro robotics, and micro electromechanical systems. And these are basically typical courses that students take, core courses, support courses. There are 4 tracks: alternative energy, laser technology, automated systems, and computer science. We have lab facilities in areas of MMET, EET, and mechatronics, as well as microelectromechanical systems. We have articulation with Temple University, Purdue University, North Texas University, and some community colleges. If GPA of our students is greater than 3, they don't need to take GRE. And we have a number of companies that actually support our programs. There are 78 of them listed here. So this is one of the strengths of our programs. Thank you, and I stop at here. Rebecca?
Thank you so much. I always love when I get to present with professors and learn so much about the programs. That was really fascinating to see all the different opportunities that our students get. I mean, I knew that they got to do some really cool things, but thank you so much for elaborating on that. It's really fun to see.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So I just wanted to briefly cover a couple of things. So first, the application process. We try to make it as easy as possible for our students to complete the application process. So we typically are optional for SAT or ACT, although we do recommend that you take the SAT if you can, simply because of the mathematics section. It helps us to place you in the right mathematics, which will help you in an engineering type or heavily mathematic program. However, you can technically be admitted without one. We do not require an essay. We do not require a letter of recommendation. And really, we just need you to complete the application, complete the $40 application fee, provide some kind of examination for proof of English proficiency, and then submit your proof of financial support. So we really do try to make it as streamlined as possible, because we don't want to create any barriers for you in the application process. Next slide. One of the exciting things that we have launched recently is called the EDGE program, where we actually are allowing international students, so first-time freshmen who are not residents of the state of Kentucky, so that means you as an international student. If you are applying with at least a 2.5 GPA on the US 4.0 scale, then you will qualify to be paying only $500 more than in-state tuition. So that means your base tuition is about $11,000. So it reduces, to give you an idea, your total I-20 cost, which is the cost that includes your tuition, your housing, your meals, your predicted books, and your health insurance, absolutely everything for your year. We predict that cost at about $32,000 to $33,000. So just with this EDGE program, it reduces your overall predicted annual cost to about $23,000 for the year. And that's just an automatic scholarship that, again, if you are applying as a freshman with at least a 2.5 GPA, that's something you're automatically considered for. Next slide. We also have international merit scholarships. You're also automatically considered for these. If you're wanting to apply for the spring intake, October 1 is the deadline for that every year. If you're wanting to apply for the fall or August intake, April 1 is our deadline for that every year. And we base that off of anything that you submit to us. We automatically consider you for this scholarship when you are admitted, because I assume that you would like a scholarship, especially if you have done very well on your SAT or your TOEFL. The other thing to be cognizant of is that I look at the highest test score. So for example, if the SAT that you took puts you in that up to 5,500 category, but the TOEFL that you took, you just absolutely nailed that, and you have a 95 or 100 in the TOEFL, and you get in that up to 7,500 category, I recommend that you submit both of those test scores, because my team and I will look at the highest test score, because we want you to get the money that you have qualified for. So if you do qualify for that higher scholarship, I want you to get that. Next slide, please. We also offer scholarships if you're interested as a transfer student, meaning that you are transferring to NKU from another university. You can also qualify for a merit scholarship, as well as international graduate students. So if you know anybody interested in any of our graduate programs, we do also automatically consider them for merit scholarships. And then finally, if you do want any additional information, just to ask me any questions, to find out more about our programs, nku.edu/international is our international admissions page. We have a lot of great information on there. I run the page, so I'm biased. I happen to think that it looks very nice. We also have our email, isss@nku.edu. That is where you can reach the International Student and Scholar Services Office. Any questions that you have at all, my team and I are always happy to point you in the right direction, to connect you with a professor, to help you to understand our process further. We understand that we cannot put everything on our website, so we want to make sure to give you all of the information that you need in order to be successful in the application process. And our final slide, I'm going to pass it back over to Bhumi Shah, who is going to help us to answer some questions. I think there are several questions in the Q&A box, am I right?
Yeah, true. Thank you so much, Rebecca and Dr. Seyed. It has been a very insightful session, and especially the information that you have shared about scholarships, about research work that is going on in several publications. I'm sure students have learned a lot from it. I would like to now draw our attention to the number of questions that we already have in the Q&A. Though there are questions that you have answered during the presentation, but I'll just go through them in case there is something that you want to add on to it. Okay, we have a question from and sorry, okay, so before even I start and go into the question and answer session, um, uh, I would just like to draw your attention to the number of things which are available on the last slide. Um, so if you are interested in receiving the last slide, can we go back to the last slide of Gen Next Education? Yeah, so do connect with us on iamfutureready.com website. You can register for free advising over there. We have also sent a link in the chat box. So you can register on the site and we will get back to you. Further, you can also see our email ID and WhatsApp number, which you can save. So now like the slide will be here. So you can save the number and also note down the information. I'll now go back to the question and answer session. So the first question is from Om, who is asking, I'm interested in robotics, so which major should I take? Mechanical, computer science engineering, or electronics engineering? Which among the three would be the best to choose for robotics? I have 50% interest in coding and 50% in electronics. Dr. Saath, do you want to answer this?
This is a very good question, actually. Yeah. The industry actually was looking for an area that combines electrical and mechanical systems together. So we didn't have one. We had electronics and we had mechanical and manufacturing. So they came to us and they gave us $250,000 worth of mechatronics lab, and they said, why don't you start mechatronics? And this happened. So we do have a mechatronics engineering technology, and this deals with smart systems, system controls, as well as robotics. I would invite students who are interested in electromechanical systems to apply for mechatronics engineering technology major.
Thank you so much. The next question is, I'm interested in aeronautical engineering. Do you have this discipline in your university? Rebecca, do you want to answer this? Do we address this?
Yeah.
No, I do not believe we have aeronautical engineering. Am I correct?
We do not have, but we do have pre-engineering. So pre-engineering actually provides the first 2 years of study in engineering, and they can actually move on to University of Kentucky or University of Louisville. We have articulation with them, and then they can actually follow over there and get a bachelor degree in aeronautical or aerospace engineering.
Sure. Okay. So two questions actually, which are related to this are, do you have any courses for design engineering?
We have courses that actually deal with design, and these are basically CAD, computer-aided design and drafting, as well as senior design project, and many other courses. Actually, one of the main competencies, if you count maybe 4 or 5 competencies that students are expected to get, design is one of them, or the most important one of them. So all of these courses that we see, even materials course that students take at engineering material, that's material selection in mechanical design. So development and design of products is the main focus here in all of our actually engineering technology majors.
Sure. Thank you. The next question is, which I think Rebecca, you can take up. If I don't have maths in class 12, can I still apply for engineering program?
So typically we place students into their mathematics courses for their first year based on either their SAT score, or we can have them take an ALEX assessment, which can be taken online from your home country in the summertime, or can be taken if you would like to take it here at NKU. So we do assess you to make sure that you are entering in the mathematics class that is appropriate for you. That being said, if you are going to be going into a highly mathematics driven area of study for your schooling for college, I do recommend that you take maths in grade 12. If you cannot, then no, we're not going to deny you admission based off of that.
Thank you. And the next question is also, I think, for you. What kind of scholarships are offered for international students? Will taking SET increase my chances of securing a scholarship? So though you talked in detail about international merit scholarship and about the age program as well, is there anything specific that you want to highlight? There are a couple of more questions about scholarships, so I think we can address them all together.
Yes, of course. So I did highlight some of the more common scholarships. The EDGE program, nearly all of my international admits this year received that. The threshold is very reasonable with the 2.5 GPA. And then, of course, this is the International Merit Scholarship slide. Thank you. And so what I mentioned before is whichever test score is higher, so long as you also have that GPA requirement, we will consider you for that higher award. So if you ended up not doing too well on TOEFL or IELTS, but you ended up getting a fantastic SAT score, then yes, the SAT will help you to get more in scholarships. There is one scholarship that I don't mention on here, which is the Presidential Scholarship. That one, you do have to have the SAT in order to qualify for it. So if you have at least a 1480 SAT or SAT score and at least a 3.75 GPA on the US 4.0 scale, then you can qualify for the Presidential Award, which is full tuition for your 4 years, as well as a small stipend that allows you to do a study abroad experience. I know that some students worry about doing an entire semester in a different country. That study abroad experience can simply be a summer internship abroad. One of our presidential scholars actually last year spent the summer in France doing some biology research studies and is now working at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital because of the impressive work that he did through that internship. So it really is an incredible opportunity for any students, again, with a 1480 SAT and at least a 3.75 GPA on the 4.0 scale.
So we have a couple of questions about internships. The student is asking, will NKU help us secure summer internship? And there is another question where the student is asking more information on the co-op programs. So would you like to address about opportunities about internship?
Yeah, sure. Actually, let me show you. Okay. So first, I guess the question was, are there any summer internships for the international students? International students are allowed to do optional training. So many of our students go out, get a job outside and work in companies and industry. This is a list of the companies that actually accept and have in the past provided jobs to our students. Some of our students actually have been sponsored by some of these companies. So they have the right skills to be hired. And I encourage our international students to do apply and get jobs outside. Nevertheless, we also have, let's say, some kind of research opportunities like UR STEM that provides funding for students who do research inside the university with the faculty. The major companies that are around us, basically it's Ford Motor Company, Toyota, GE, Bosch, Mazak, and they hire quite a number of our students. Bosch especially has been providing co-op for our international students quite a bit, Bosch and Mazak.
Awesome. So this also, I think, addresses a question by the student who wants to know, like, the students can work with the professors for research opportunities, right? Like undergrad students.
Well, undergraduate research, I mentioned, I myself usually have a number of them, sometimes 8 to 10 of them working with me on undergraduate research. And there are other professors that do the same thing. So opportunities for doing undergraduate research is here.
This also addresses a question that a student had asked, like which are the companies that recruit the students from campus. So I think this is really helpful to have this information in the presentation. So I think another question is, how many hours of classroom does a student need to have each week?
That's actually a good question. Rebecca, do you want to answer that for international
Yes.
students?
Of course. So an international student on an F1 student visa needs to have a minimum of 12 credit hours, which represents at least 12 hours of classroom study for the week, and anywhere from 12 to 24 hours of study outside of the classroom. However, if you do want to graduate in 4 years, we highly recommend that you take at least 15 credit hours, which is usually about 5 classes in a given semester. This is for multiple reasons, so not just for graduating on time, but also just in case something happens and perhaps 5 classes is a little too much for you. If you drop 1 class, you're still on that 12 credit hour threshold, so you are not violating any rules of your F1 student visa.
Thank you. We have a question from a parent, who is asking, my son is in class 10 now. He plans to pursue AI, that artificial intelligence, for higher studies after class 12. Please share some information on how we should prepare, the requirements and the available streams at NKU in this discipline. Now, Rebecca, do you want to talk about the available streams and disciplines that the student can take?
For AI?
And then, yeah, for AI.
Actually,
Or
Dr.
Dr.
Seyed, you
Syed.
might know more than I do about AI.
Artificial intelligence?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
right?
The student is in class 10 right now. After 12th, he wants to join and he wants to study more about artificial intelligence. So they want to know about which streams are available and how they can prepare for it.
Right, right. I can talk about our students here in US. What they do, I guess they take some of these AP courses that are offered in high schools. Some of our students in high school actually come to the universities and do undergraduate research. I do have one of them. There's a female student who works on micro electromechanical system scale components. But I guess it depends on the country that the applicant is. If in US, I strongly recommend that they take courses in engineering or technology or STEM areas, and that prepares them for universities.
And as far as the streams, I know that we have artificial intelligence as an area of focus within our College of Informatics as well. And in fact, the Dean of the College of Informatics, Dr. Kevin Kirby, that's his area of specialization is AI.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think these are all the questions we had. So we do have a couple of minutes more if the students want to ask any questions. Okay, so there we have more two questions. I think they're the last questions that we can take. I'm interested in designing cars, so which stream am I supposed to take? Dr. Saad, yeah, would you like to answer this? I'm interested in designing cars, so which stream am I supposed to take?
Right, right. So I recommend mechanical and manufacturing engineering technology. That's where the Baja vehicle is built every year. And they learn how to put the components together, how to design them in AutoCAD, how to order the parts, and how to test different systems, how to simulate the system. That's the most appropriate one.
Yeah, sounds good. So how do you help students for the skill development, especially for the jobs? That is also one of the questions the student is asking in terms of designing and simulation. How does the department help students in skill development?
I'm not sure if I understand it. Which one?
Okay, so the student is
job
for the
placement.
job placement, yeah, and that earlier the student has also asked that you can see in the answered section that how does the department help in the skill development, like for designing or for simulation?
Rebecca, do you have answer to that?
For skills development, well, I think
Right.
you covered it quite a bit in that it's very much project based. You cover the theoretical, but make sure that you are always focused on the different projects that you do. You demonstrated a lot of the opportunities that students get to do. So I think that it was covered quite well in the bulk of your presentation earlier on.
And do you want to, I think you mentioned about the deadlines also earlier during the session. Do you want to talk about that, especially considering current situation? Because we do see a question by Arvind, do you have early admission programs?
Yeah, so we don't do early decision or early action decision. We're a rolling admission at our university. We do recommend if you're applying for the fall or August intake that you complete the admissions process by February 15th at the latest. This really is just to help you to make sure that you have plenty of time to complete the housing contract, to also apply to other universities and help you to make a very informed decision. I always feel so bad when a student is applying last minute and feels very rushed in their decision. There are also some key deadlines at that point. That's the priority deadline for scholarships like the Presidential Award. So really February 15th is our priority deadline. However, if you don't make it by then as long as you complete your application by April 1, you will still be automatically considered for the International Merit Scholarship, for the EDGE Award, and still have plenty of time before that May 1 decision date to make the college decision that is best for you.
Right. Can you also talk about accommodations?
Yes, so we do have, of course, great. We do have on-campus housing for our students. We do require that first-time freshmen live on campus for that first year. I know that oftentimes I get very mixed responses about that, but truly it is the best opportunity for you. You are moving very far away from home, and you will have a resident advisor or an RA who is there to help you through the process of transitioning to college, because even American students have challenges as they start college, move far away from home. And honestly, it's very difficult to get accommodations other than the dorm rooms if you are living very far away. So it is much easier for you as well to live on campus that first year. And frankly, it's a lot of fun. They do a lot of really great activities for students. Depending on what floor you live in, you get to know your roommates and your hallmates as well very, very well. And all of our international students who do live on campus do seem to very much enjoy it. If any of you want to chat with any of our international students, you can email that isss@nku.edu, and I have several global ambassadors who would be glad to talk to you about their experience living on campus.
Well, so like I think we have approached towards the end of the session. So on behalf of the entire team at Gen Next, I am really grateful to you, Rebecca and Dr. Saad, who have thank you for taking out time from your schedules and addressing to our students. We have had wonderful audience and some really brilliant questions as well. So we will share further information with the students, the students who have attended the webinar. Um, and if you have any questions that you think you could not ask during the session, but you want to reach out to the experts even later on, feel free to reach out to us and we'll connect you with them. We'll look forward to talk to you more soon. So do register and we will connect with you individually. So thank you, everyone. Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks, Dr. Syed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Bhumi.